Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post is going to discuss Zos Chanuka and the ability to change. Today is Zos Chanuka, and there are a number of reasons why it's called that. The simplest being that in today's Torah reading, we read the words Zos Chanukas HaMizbeach. But there's also a deeper meaning, which suggests that the last day of Chanuka encapsulates the entire meaning of Chanuka. And one explanation for this is that the 8th day, the number 8, is above nature. And that gives us a message that things are not fixed. Things can be changed, improved, and we can contribute to this process. And this concept is anathema to the Greek philosophy, which says that things are fixed, and fixed by nature. And there's a Hasidic teaching about Zos Chanuka that says that the process of change, the process of teshuvah, which begins with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and even continues on to Hoshana Rabbah, actually continues up until today, up until Zos Chanuka. And this is our final chance to consider our behavior and consider how we want to change things about ourselves and about our life. And there's a psychological model called the Stages of Change model, which looks at change and understands and acknowledges that it's difficult to make a change and a behavioral change, and suggests a number of stages that we progress through gradually towards a desired goal. So I'm going to just discuss briefly the different stages of this model. Firstly is pre-contemplation, where we are in a state of denial, and we are not even aware of any need to change our behavior. So for this we need to stop and assess our behavior and look at the risks of continuing our behavior. So then we continue on to contemplation, where we start to think about behavioral change. We're ambivalent about change, and we might have conflicting emotions about change. So we need to assess the pros and cons of a behavioral change, and also to determine any barriers towards achieving a behavioral change, a behavioral goal. Next is preparation, where we start to gather information about the behavioral goal, about the behavioral change that we're looking for. And we have a plan of action and set goals, which allows us to move on to the action stage, where we put it all into practice. We start to direct our behavior towards a desired goal, and we should reward any successes and look for social support to reinforce a motivation to achieve the desired goal, to keep it up, because the next stage is the vital stage of maintenance, where we maintain the behavioral change and we avoid any temptations to relapse. And it's important again to reward any successes, because if it's not done properly, and what often happens is that there is a relapse where we go back to our previous behavior. And if this happens, there's a feeling of frustration, perhaps failure and disappointment. So we need to assess anything that triggers relapse. And we might even need to go back to the stages of preparation and action and maintenance to reassess the process again. Okay, I wish you good Shabbos, Chanuka Sameach, and keep well.